Steve Smith, editor of Car Magazine, and this is the opening morning of the 2018 Performance Shootout that Car Magazine does every year. And as usual, same format, performance test the cars at a racetrack, do some lap times. Dion Jabert, our ace driver as usual, and then a nice 2-day road trip to really get a sense of what these cars are about. I can't predict a winner. I think this is going to be one of the hardest performance shootouts I've been on, where we can call the winner at the end. Right, after yesterday's 160 kilometer road trip down from Durban to Port Shepstone, it's day 2 and we're at Desi Raceway, and this is where Performance Shootout 2018 really begins in earnest. It is the day we start our performance testing and we do our lap times with Dion Jabert. But the guy who I need to get who can really tell us more about this is our technical guru, our technical editor, Mr. Nicol Lowe. Nicol, you guys have been up since early this morning. What have you been up to?
This is performance testing, and you know, when we evaluate cars, it's always subjective, but performance shootout is all about the numbers. Numbers never lie. So what we've done is we've got all these performance cars here. We've prepped them, so we filled all the tanks, we checked all the tire pressures, and I think it's important to note that we test all the cars on the same climatic conditions, on the same surface, on the same day. We've got Sadir out there doing the performance runs, acceleration runs, braking, quarter miles, and then we'll get our racing driver Dion Jabert to put them through the paces around Desi Racetrack, and we get our lap times. So the end result is all the figures that you'll see in the January issue of Car Magazine. Now readers can sit down in their leisure and go through the times and know that the fastest car will have the fastest times there.
So Dion, the first E63 in our market with all-wheel drive, what do you think?
It feels like an incredibly grippy rear-wheel drive car. You don't really feel it's four-wheel drive, but you can put the power down, and it's got a lot of power. Not much understeer, but magnificent car. And they had to go from rear-wheel drive to four-wheel drive, but they did it in a way that actually makes the car still feel very alive. It's amazing. It's fantastic.
So Dion, I mean, the name says it all, obviously, savage. But I mean, with 510 kilowatts, does this back the power up with a good time on the track?
At the moment, I think this car is a little bit undeveloped, so there's a little problem with the throttle application, so it's making a lot of power, but it's very difficult to modulate that, so that's a little bit off-putting. It's difficult to drive it on this specific circuit because it's so narrow and tight here. But I mean, chassis-wise, it sounds fantastic. Got good brakes. Gearbox is very slow. I think it might be better to drive it in a higher gear than I was here and there, but a little bit of development to be a good car.
Dion, I suspect this might have been one of your favorite cars.
Most of the cars are feeling quite cumbersome here, if you like, and this is the first car that's actually going, yes, we can drive now. You know, it's got grip. The gearbox works really well. I don't know what's wrong with the Alpha. I think maybe it's not producing all the power it should. Some of the corners it was like holding back, so possibly that time is not quite what it should have done. But right here and now, this car so far was by far the best. Yeah. The Golf R was great, I like that, but this is just, yeah, fantastic.
I mean, we've spent 2 days at Desi doing performance testing, lap times, been on a road trip for 2 days, really getting a feel of what these cars are like on the road. We'll have the E63S, clearly one of the favorites so far with everyone. Brutally quick in a straight line, a real modern day muscle car really.
Steve is tremendous. I mean, it's a 2-ton passenger car. It's grippy, it's fast.
The one criticism we've heard so far is that the ride's a little hard.
It is. I think even for, I understand they must contain that power in 2 tons, and you can't make it soft and floaty. But for this type of car, I think it's a bit hard. But then when you start putting your foot down, it is tremendously capable.
Okay, Nikesh, the QV, I mean, this really impressed us when we tested it a few months back. How's it been for you on Performance Shootout so far?
I think this is the best performance sedan I've ever driven, not only in this lineup. I just think it's spot on. This blew my mind. And driving it again here on these roads, it's been an amazing experience.
Nicol, R8, in essence, really the defending champion because the V10 Plus Coupe won last year. What's your take been on this car this year?
It's definitely one of the most beautiful cars here in Spider form. It's got that 5.2 V10 naturally aspirated engine, the only naturally aspirated engine in this group. Can you believe it?
Gareth, this Golf R is in danger of getting lost in Performance Shootout. I mean, it's white. It's one of the lesser powered cars. What's your take on this one so far?
It's one of those cars that doesn't deserve to blend into the background. Quite often you get a car whereby you don't notice anything, and that's actually the sign of a car doing its job exceptionally well. And that's what this car's doing. It's very flattering to a tortoise driver like myself. It's got plenty of grip, it's practical, it's comfortable, it's a great all-rounder.
So dear, Savage 660 Mustang kind of lives up to its name, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely, Steve. It is quite savage. It's a brutal machine, 500 kilowatts from that supercharged V8. It's great fun though, isn't it? It goes sideways if you sneeze on the throttle. On the whole, I mean, in this entire group of cars, even with the R8 and the Aston Martin, this car garnered loads of attention wherever we went. It makes a great noise. It looks evil in this completely blacked out with the dark wheels and the dark headlamps. You can't even see who's driving inside, so you could maybe get away with more than you should. Yeah, I think they told us when they gave us the car it wasn't quite finished, and when it's completely tuned and set up and calibrated, it'll be a lot nicer to drive.
Now what happens is the team goes back to Cape Town, back to our office. We spend a day, a very robust debate, trying to thrash out what our top 3 and our ultimate winner of Performance Shootout 2018 will be.
And you can read all about it in the January 2018 issue of Car.